Hello and welcome to Hanamade. This time around I am obsessed with fairy mirrors. I found this incredible mirror that looks like a window. It was just asking to be turned into a fairy mirror. So the basic is to have a good mirror and some tools. I do definitely use pliers, rubbing alcohol for cleaning the window, good pliers, scissors, hammer. I also use other tools, and the most important is glue gun. I do love glue gun because it's fast, it works well, it's efficient, but I use it outside, and then I use some additional supplies to basically embellish the mirror. I will tell you more in detail when I go through instructions. And mushrooms make any mirror or anything fairy-like fantastic. So first I grab the mirror and I make sure that the backing is done, meaning the wire on the back. It would be pretty hard to do the hardware on the back once you assemble the front. So then I clean the window because it's not all that easy to clean it afterwards with all the things attached. And yes, that's my head. Oops. And then I use glue gun and I make sure I have plenty of cartridges, or the glue sticks rather. And then basically I played around. By the way, I did night before place some of the materials, and I made similar mirrors before, so I kind of have idea what I'm doing. But if you're doing this for the first time, I do recommend to place everything on the mirror before you glue it down. I guess that's a basic to any kind of project when you're attaching things forever. So anyhow, here I'm just I found some cool birch bark that was dried and I put it to the bottom. I made polymer clay mushrooms. You can see instructions on my channel. Ferns and cattails are fantastic. They just add such a nice, I don't know, earthy look. Also, I find them to be like pretty well made. They don't look as fake. I do admit I really don't like, or I used to not like to combine natural materials and plastic. It's just something that really irritates me about it. But I'm getting over my plastic hate, I guess, because it is durable, and I do admit that some of the artificial flowers are really well made and they last long time. And the other thing is that the worst case scenario, you can actually vacuum this project or wipe it off and blow the dust eventually. So as you can see, I'm just having fun placing things wherever I want to. The mushrooms add really great touch, I think. The glue gun is very easy to work with, but as I mentioned, it does really stink. And the other thing is that no matter how careful you are, you will burn yourself. Right now you saw me removing actually a piece of the glue. That's one thing that does irritate me, is the little strings that come out of it. So basically when you lift the glue gun, there's always a little residue. There's a special way how to kind of twist it and wipe it off. But whenever I work on any project, I try to make sure that I actually remove any residue quickly when I see it. Otherwise it looks like, actually it's not such a bad look, it looks like spider webs. So in this case it's not that bad. So anyhow, you can see me also using a few tools that I have handy, like the hammer and pliers, just to kind of weigh the materials down. So because this fern leaf is kind of thick, it was just easier to glue it. I had a little, not poison ivy, English ivy rather, garland, and I cut it into small pieces. I think the ivies kind of add a nice look as well. So as I mentioned, cattails, ferns, English ivy, I'm using moss. It's not actually moss, it's lichen. That's dyed, and with water and glycerin. Again, I have instructions on my channel. It's a durable, long-lasting, but I do have to admit it's one of those things that I'm not 100% sure how long it will last. Yes, mirror is just hanging on the wall, and in theory nobody will be touching it and it should last a long time, but whenever I use this moss in other projects, I do worry about its durability. On the other hand, I sometimes feel that whatever projects I made, they are just a base for the new owner to play with and possibly evolve and add things. So, by the way, I do like thrifting a lot, and especially when it comes to plastic stuff made in China, I don't want to go to store and buy new. So whenever I go to yard sales or thrift stores, if I come across cool items that can be used with the fairy theme, houses, gardens or mirrors, I do grab them. So this is the moss. It's really fantastic because it's kind of what's the right word I'm looking for? Juicy. It's not fragile. So if you pick up lichen in the forest and dry it and use it for crafts, it will break. It'll be very fragile. That's why it's better to preserve it with I think I used 2 cups of water and 1 cup of glycerin. Hot water, by the way, so the oil mixes. Anyhow, so those are just the final touches of the mirror. It's very exciting, and what I'm doing now is that I am attaching the moss to places where I already used glue guns. So wherever you can see like little stems attached, I'm basically covering it up with the moss, and that gives it, you know, more natural look and hides everything. Again, you can probably see me fighting the little strings from the glue gun, but otherwise I'm super happy with the speed the glue gun works on. It's important to have extra sticks handy. By the way, there's a little trick. If you don't have another stick, you can just stick a pencil to the back. So now I'm deciding just to add a little extra moss to different corners. So this is the timing, I guess, when I'm trying to be careful not to overdo it. It's very easy to go over the top and just keep adding things, but I always worry that it'll be too much. I think it's easier. I'm making these to sell, so I think it's easier for the new owner to add more stuff eventually if they want to. Even though mirrors and glass are pretty easy to basically peel off the glue gun with almost no residue. This type of moss, you can actually buy it in different thrift stores as well. I did find it in Joann's, Walmart, as well as Michael's. But make sure you buy good color and make sure it is the juicy type, the type that is preserved with glycerin oil. So I'm almost done. I think that this was longer than I expected, but I hope it kind of gives you a little kick to make something yourself. As I mentioned, buy good quality mirror that will last and it's not going to fall apart if you're spending time to make something, and have fun with it. If you're using glue gun, do it outside. So that's the final project. Ta-da! I am very pleased. I think it turned out great, and I love that it is pretty and practical, as I like to say. It's definitely, mirrors are practical, and I think it will put a smile on everybody's face, everybody who walks by. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching Hannah Made.